There are various interpretations of what Aiki is. It is an old term. The new philosophical one was introduced by the founder of modern Aikido, Morihei Ueshiba. At some point, he attained insight into the spiritual realm of existence. Not only him, though. Seeing into beyond, indeed, have a very powerful effect on anyone who ever attained any level of enlightenment. From that perspective, everything is one, and our material dimension here is almost like a hologram. Also, science today knows there is a force within an atom as well as within the universe. It gives expression to all existence and nurtures all life. When experienced directly, it is brighter than a sunlight and feels more benevolent than any mother could be. But this can only be seen through the mental eye. On the other side, the common human perception is we are all separated. This kind of perception is the very essence of the individual, because thinking I itself wants to be distinguished. So, throughout meditation, one seems to dilute just this, to see through the veil of this thinking I. It is therefore clear I cannot do a surgery on itself. It somehow has to be left aside, to get quiet, to step away and give space for insight. The intention of O-sensei was to convert his previous martial art in such a way that it would be in harmony with this cosmic order, in accord with this magnificent but subtle force of the universe which is behind. But he was talking about his point of view and his personal skills, not everyone's. He became very religious and later even built an Aiki shrine in Iwama. He then stated, true Aiki is agape, a divine love, that is. Meaning he and his art is now in harmony with the law of the universe. To understand this properly, it has to be put into perspective with his younger attitude. Indeed, peace should prevail and harming others is the wrong way. So it was a revolutionary step if fighting was the previous idea. As we know, this period was also marked with a sad conclusion of the World War II, which was meaningful. The basic idea here is not how to fight or win, but rather how to shake off or eventually immobilize the attacker if need be. Regarding the techniques, it is widely known he was changing them most of his lifetime, which is only natural. But this concept of Aiki, it has some other, older meanings too. Term Aiki is commonly used in Daitoryu. This is where Master Ueshiba actually get the idea from. He learned it from his sensei, Sokaku Takeda. That older meaning of Aiki is not philosophical, but rather very practical. It is so important that it is more like a principal technique within the system. Sometimes this is practiced in a very subtle way. It is very much done through direct feeling and through breathing. The idea is how to instantly make a connection and move on. This learning starts from the sitting position, where has to be learned how to use the whole body. When moving slow, the emphasis is on feeling more. If you recorded too much of that, you probably would like to watch it. Aiki will only be acquired through diligent practice, hand to hand. The idea is to establish a certain bond between the two. It certainly doesn't mean harmony in any sentimental way. Body has to change, so it is not so easy to grasp. On the level of the mind, there are several possibilities. The tensions in reality, they almost certainly couldn't be avoided. Excessive tensions, therefore, need to be learned to instantly overcome. In regular Aikido, using inertia of the attack seems fine, but this works when attacker has abandoned the control of his inertia. They call that a committed attack, the idea which came from the use of long weapon, especially two-handed sword. Today we should ask ourselves how much of this is really applicable in our time. Our method is very much based on this connection first. Immediately after, a seamless movement together has to be employed. One moves for both, but connected as one. There are ways how not to activate too much reaction on the other side. Actually, less Aiki there is, the more inertia will be needed from Uke. The question is it Uke who is supposed to practice the so-called art of non-resistance? Actually, Uke shouldn't be a snowflake, but rather a good practicing material. We believe the older term Aikibudo was very appropriate expression. It can directly translate into practice how to use Aiki in order to stop aggression. At first, through learning Aiki, one practices about aggression on the outside. Then, after a certain period of time, he learns how to control also his own aggression on the inside. Term Aiki today largely became just part of some name. Its essential meaning is avoided to that extent that it is hard to find anybody who knows the joint meaning of both characters together even exist. We call this a way of dissolving the essence. Instead of going deeper, the prevailing trend is just going wider. Practicing real Aiki can never become sport. Can't you see? But now, when we have just one syllable more, it seems can be easy to do. Meditation? Yes, that is very good for relaxation. Please, feel more.